Welcome to Rewatch and Rank. On this channel, we rewatch older TV shows, provide a summary and opinion on the episode before ranking each episode against each other. Today's episode is Charmed Season 2, Episode 14, Pardon My Past. The episode in a nutshell is just a brief summary of exactly what happens within this episode. So Prue and Piper are having a house party, and Phoebe is studying for a test, so she comes down to ask them to be quiet as it's after midnight. And they then shortly after end the party and are outside seeing their guests when Phoebe upstairs once again hears sounds of a party, though the music is dated closer to the 1920s. Phoebe comes down to tell everyone to be quiet. However, this time the house is empty, and then she is essentially attacked and pushed up against a wall, and nothing is there when Prue and Piper come back in after hearing Phoebe yell. They then find her on the floor. It is then discovered by Leo that potentially her past life is trying to warn her of danger in her present life, and he has heard of that through other charges back when he was a white lighter, though he has no way to verify it because he is no longer a white lighter. So they cast a spell which sends Phoebe back to possess her past self, where she finds out that she was evil and in a relationship with an immortal warlock at the time, and that she was plotting to kill her cousins, which are the past selves of Piper and Prue. She then comes back to the present, informs them of this, and they go to visit a little girl that they had seen at the house party or speakeasy in the 1920s, named Christina Larson. And that's where they learn more about Phoebe being an evil witch who died, and Christina had seen that she had died, and they then go back, and in order to find out exactly what happened and who had killed her, Phoebe once again goes back in time and possesses her past self, finding out once again that it was Piper and Prue's past selves who had cursed her, but not just in that life. Knowing that Anton was immortal, they cursed Phoebe's soul to die in every life, which is why she is now in danger at the present. But they also learned that there was an amulet that was gifted to Phoebe by Anton that can protect her against the witchcraft of her cousins, which then should be able to protect current Phoebe from dying like past Phoebe. So they then go back to, then Leo and Phoebe kind of sneak away to go back and visit Christina again to see if maybe she knows what happened to the amulet after the bad witch died. And that is where Phoebe then casts a spell to swap souls with her past life so that she can hopefully find the amulet and hide it so that in the present she'll know where to find it. And Leo lets her, however, shortly after she casts the spell, she goes unconscious, and Christina is then revealed to be a disguised Anton, who then gives the amulet to the possessed Phoebe, because they swap souls, the past Phoebe is now in the present, and he gives it to past Phoebe in present Phoebe's body to prevent Phoebe from being able to swap back once she has figured it out. So then we have her in the past fighting with her cousins, trying to say the spell to get back, and failing because past Phoebe is in present Phoebe's body. But Prue and Piper figure that since past Phoebe was trying to kill them in the past with Anton, that they're likely at the manor. They return to the manor. Upon entering the manor, they then find Anton and Phoebe being protected by the amulet. However, Prue redirects Phoebe's firepower onto Anton, vanquishing him, which then, while past Phoebe is in shock, they grab the amulet from her. Phoebe's spell in the past then works to swap them back, and then they quickly put the amulet on present Phoebe so that it can absorb the curse and save her in the present, ending the every life part of that curse. We then kind of have a subplot of Piper, Dan, and Leo still going on with that triangle. Dan has now become extremely suspicious of Leo, as Obviously, he can't find many records on Leo, and the only Leo Wyatt who matches what Leo's been telling him as far as like his army career, his favorite baseball player being a baseball player from like his grandfather's era, things like that. Obviously, the records state Leo Wyatt died in the army 60 years previously. And this, of course, is Leo, but he wouldn't know that because he's not in on the secret yet. So he's very suspicious about Leo not having much of a past. And Piper, of course, knows the truth about Leo, knows that he was an army medic, that he died, then he became a white lighter, a literal angel. So she's like, he's an angel, there's nothing wrong with Leo. But Dan, of course, is like, this person's suspicious. He could try to harm you. Be careful around him. And basically is making use of himself. It's also interesting how, with the past life, they paralleled the current life by having Dan be married to Piper's past self, but her former lover being Leo, to kind of mimic it, the present in the past as well, which was interesting. So now that we've been reminded about what happens, it's time to rank the episode. Once again, we rank on our mostly objective list, which is without emotion, but bias and judgment can still apply, and then the personal ranking, which is entirely emotion and opinion. All right, so for our mostly objective rank values, I've highlighted those that I felt applied to the episode. So we, of course, start with our single episode supporting character introductions. And in this episode, we have Anton, who is the love interest, and then Christina Larson, who is the witness to the past event and now an older lady that's in a care home. We then also get some world building in that reincarnation exists, they have past lives, but also that curses that can be multi-life exist. Like you can curse somebody in a past life that will curse them through all of their future lives and all of their future selves, even as they evolve, grow, change, etc. So that is worth 4 points. And then, much like the last episode, we have our main relationship developments while also having the regression at the same time, because in a triangle, you win some, you lose some, as the person that you're fighting over makes choices and leans one way or the other. And basically, in this one, there's the learning about past lives and like the interest of the fact she was married to Dan in a past life, now she's dating him in reality, like in present. Leo was her past lover in the past life, past lover in the current life. That Leo even notes at the beginning of the episode that he's starting to kind of lose hope about maybe winning Piper back. However, I don't think he should, because obviously Dan has started looking into Leo, warning Piper against Leo, encouraging Piper not to be around Leo, because obviously if you're not in on the secret, Leo is a very suspicious person, and Dan has started to notice that. He even kind of yells at her at the end of the episode about how she's not taking the danger seriously because this guy is suspicious, and she of course knows the truth. She knows he's an angel, he's amazing, who's a good enough person, did enough good in his life to become a white lighter in the first place, so obviously she knows that to be his nature. Dan doesn't, and that obviously Dan has also shown that he's jealous and insecure in the relationship in previous episodes, and this is kind of coming to the forefront as well, which once again I feel like is starting his downward spiral into not being chosen, while Leo's kind of up and coming to be chosen, because even as a mortal he's still helpful. She still has feelings for him, obviously. He has feelings for her, so on and so forth. So, as always, up and down. And anyways, with all of that being considered, this episode is a 7 out of 10 mostly objective episode. And so, as a reminder of our mostly objective rankings so far for season 2, in first place we have Witch Trial, The Painted World, She's a Man Baby, a Man, They're Everywhere, P3H2O, Ms. Hellfire, Awakened, Morality Bites, Heartbreak City. In 10th place is this episode, Pardon My Past, That Old Black Magic, Reckless Abandon, Animal Pragmatism, and then in 14th, The Devil's Music. All right, so now for my personal opinion on the episode. I didn't hate the episode. I didn't love the episode either. I like the concept of, like them having past lives, being able to possess the past life. I liked the wardrobe of, being in like the flapper dresses, the manor being a speakeasy, the fact that they've always reincarnated within the family, growing and evolving into becoming the charmed ones after like over time. In this one, Prue had some really cool ice powers in her past life. Phoebe got to throw fire in her past life. I also like how it kind of foreshadowed Prue's future career by having her have the same career in this past life, which gives her the inspiration to go forward. Of course, it's not confirmed in this episode, so we'll talk more on that in the episode it comes to fruition in. There was a little bit of secondhand embarrassment when Phoebe was being warned from her past life. There was a brief period of time when she went to an exam at the college and then was attacked by her past life in front of everybody in the middle of an exam, causing a ruckus, drawing attention, and I got secondhand embarrassment from that. And I do not like getting secondhand embarrassment because, and I mean, you can't help your emotions. I get secondhand embarrassment when people do things that I just think are just objectively very embarrassing things. And that, for me personally, is a negative to anything. Overall, like the past life, they bring in Anton. He's there for like 2 seconds and then he's dead. They obviously succeed. It did do a good job of building tension because you were like worried maybe they won't get the amulet in time. Maybe, something will happen. But then at the same time, you're like, obviously they're going to succeed because we're only halfway through the season. Like if this was the finale and we didn't know if there was going to be another one, maybe she could die. But we knew that wasn't going to happen. Like I said, like overall, a good episode. It was a strong episode. It just wasn't fully entertaining. Its highlights really were more in the wardrobe and just like the concept overall of being like 1920s themed and everything. But the actual plot line, the continuing triangle, all of that, I decided that it was a 4 out of 10 episode. Which then brings my personal ranking to, in first place, P3H2O, second, Awakened, Ms. Hellfire, Heartbreak City, Witch Trial, The Painted World, They're Everywhere. This episode came in 8th, Pardon My Past. Then Reckless Abandon, She's a Man, Baby, a Man, The Devil's Music, Animal Pragmatism, Morality Bites, and then in last place, That Old Black Magic. And so we come to our series ranking so far, which is where we're going to be ranking each of the seasons against each other. Season 1 has already completed, and on our mostly objective ranking, it completed with 73.18% as its final score. And so far in Season 2, we've accumulated a score of 106 out of 220. Then on our personal side, Season 1 ended with 71.50%, and Season 2 has only gained 74 out of 220 points so far. And then with that, we have now rewatched and ranked Charmed Season 2, Episode 14, Pardon My Past. Like and subscribe if you'd like to, and I'll see you in the next episode.